I believe every day's a good day when you
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? Zen, thanks for the sub, man. 57 months. Yeah, almost 5 years. I think we've known each other for 5 years at this point, though, right? Because I was working at that company 5 years ago. But, Blue, Big Papa, John Lockridge, welcome up. Yeah, just mods. Just mods today. John, you're an honorary mod right now. So... without powers to ban other mods. Around November, before I started streaming, yeah. Hey, Jimpe, what's going on? Yeah, it has been a while since I've seen you. I'm doing well. Yeah, exactly. I know what your game is, John. Yeah, I know what's up. Night Trap, what's going on? What is going on? Alright, let's jump in. I'm just going to continue on this little vampire guy. So we're going to do some of this. Transcribing recipes from Mayhem's Pinterest so we can have them in recipe book form. One of our favorites are links are breaking. Oh, really? Oh, that's a good call. Yeah. I'm doing well. I think community's doing pretty well overall. We're all just chilling and continuing to paint minis or, do whatever, I guess. But yeah, man. Everybody have a good weekend. Yeah, I want to talk about that reveal show because that was pretty solid, honestly, as far as GW reveal shows go. Blogs decide they don't want to do it anymore and they're deleting their pages. That's crazy. Yeah. They gotta find another way to make money, Blue. That's the only reason people do things on the internet anymore, is to make money. The Corsair is really good. Really impressed with that rage. Yes, so we're in a 13-paragraph stories about how much their husband loves the recipes. So they fill in each paragraph with 2 ads. Yeah, they do, man. Oh, it's so hard to get through like ads on those like crappy recipe websites. It's so bad. Bob, what's going on? Welcome back. How are you doing? So we're just gonna chill and paint tonight. I got couple things I wanted to chat about, if that's cool with you guys. But yeah, had a good weekend. And the family's home tomorrow also for a holiday, which is nice. But yeah, it's been a good weekend. So I do want to talk about Custodes. We're gonna talk about the Custodes. Yeah, doing good. I mean, if you guys want to bring up the controversial thing, we can talk about that. But I plan to just talk about how good the minis look. Doing a sourdough. Not here your family's doing your recipe. Okay, good segue here. I once read someone's thoughts about the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit books, and how in the lore they're written by Bilbo and Frodo, right? And essentially all they are recipe books, but they take you through their story to explain how they came up with the recipes, because they talk about food a lot in the books. And so it's like the mom blog recipes of Middle Earth, but it's just a Hobbit, and they write this great epic trilogy just just to put their recipes in a book to sell it. I think about that every time I watch those movies now. Yeah, the movies don't focus on the food as much. Remember, the books focused on food a lot, and like what they were eating day to day. I always can't help but write an epic adventure story as a cookbook. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're the mom bloggers of Middle Earth. That's what they are. Yeah. No, it's. I think it might be my favorite take of Lord of the Rings. So did anybody else? Yeah, Bob. Yeah, we don't need to talk about it. But anybody else go see Lord of the Rings this weekend? We went as a family and saw Return of the King today. Now, frankly, it was pretty amazing. I have one complaint. It's kind of 2 complaints roll into one with the movie, but so we went and saw Lord of the Rings. We saw Return of the King. We only had time to see one of them, and Return of the King had the best showtime. So, and the last movie we watched as a family was The Two Towers, so it made sense for us, right? But it's our Return of the King, and we get to the theater, and they're like, okay, there's no trailers. It starts right at the showtime. Cool, that's great. It's a 4.5-hour movie, so yeah, start at showtime. So we get there 15 minutes before the showtime. They start playing trailers. So we had to sit through trailers anyway, which I don't mind movie trailers. That's fine, but it just...
Those movie trailers, though?
They had a bunch of like horror movie trailers, which was great for my 9-year-old. Going to see a PG-13 movie, I understand, but yeah. There's apparently a Wizard of Oz sequel that's a horror movie about how Dorothy was, I don't know, crazy or something, and like, there are creatures that murder people. I don't get I don't understand the plot of that movie, but yeah. Anyway, so they played all the trailers just before the actual showtime of the movie. And then the other thing was we got a wonderful welcome from Peter Jackson before the movie started. So this is after the showtime started. Okay, they said they were going to start the movie at showtime, but at the showtime, there was a nice introduction of Peter Jackson, and he goes, "Hi, I hope you enjoyed the movie. You know, we really enjoyed making it. Blah blah blah. It's been 20 years. You know, whatever." And we're like, "Oh, that's really cool. Okay, that's nice." Well, then he keeps talking, and Peter Jackson. I timed this. He went on for 15 minutes. 15 minutes just rambling about stuff. This guy did not have a script. He didn't have power like talking points or anything. It was an old man rant. He just went on and he was talking about, oh well, yeah, I used to, we filmed this scene, and we were filming this scene, this happened, and then we were talking about this, and Christopher Lee was grumbling to me, and then we were talking about this, and that's just what he did. Yeah, he also works. Yeah, he works from home. Yeah, he was filming from his living room. So the dude just set his laptop up on his coffee table and just ranted into the camera for 15 minutes. And I think he does a different one for each movie. So they just got Peter Jackson for an hour to talk about filming the movies, and then just like broke it up and stuck him in front of the movies. One of my favorite things was he actually apologizes for how long the movie is. He says he's sorry that the movie's 4.5 hours long, which I thought that was really funny. So yeah, he just keeps talking. So he just goes on, and he ends up talking about no, it's nowhere near Gary Busey, but he does talk about, he mentions as like a nice, I don't know, tribute about, like, hey, there's some people that we've lost, over the years, some, actors or important people that have passed away. And he mentions like Ian Holm, who played Bilbo. He mentions Bernard Hill, who played Theoden. He mentions Christopher Lee, and he had nice things to say about all of them. And then he mentioned a guy who I'm not familiar with, but it was one of his like head crew guys. Like I'm not sure. I'm not like into the film industry, but someone that like helped him with all the Lord of the Rings films, and then with like King Kong and Lovely Bones and all this stuff. He went on for like 8 minutes talking about these people. He was talking about that last person and just talking about like how much of an impact they had, but it ended up being kind of weird because his rant turned into like, from they were important and a great person, to I'm not filming any drama movies because I can't find a good replacement. And like, I mean, yeah, that's a compliment, but also it's just kind of weird. And he's like, well, I'll get back into dramas soon. Yeah, I just been making a lot of documentaries, but I'll get into dramas soon. Yeah, I just gotta find somebody. And like, that was his rant. Like, I don't know. It was pretty funny. Like, I think it was more unintentionally funny, but yeah. So they did that. And that leads into my first complaint, my only complaint about seeing these movies in theater today. My complaint about seeing The Lord of the Rings in theaters was we saw Return of the King, 4.5 hour runtime, okay? No intermission. Yes, this was before the movie, Big Papa. This was when they said the movie starts at 1:15 p.m., they meant Peter Jackson starts ranting at 1:15 p.m. and then we start the movie at 1:30 p.m. So they didn't put an intermission, and I was thinking like, wait a minute, now they told the director to talk for I don't know how long, but they gave him 15 minutes to ramble at the start of the movie, and then didn't give anybody any time to pee or like refill their drink or anything. Like, that's wild. Like, I can't. I have never been to a theater with a movie that's been like close to 3 hours that didn't give an intermission. Like if you have a long movie, you give people an intermission, right? Like was it an AMC theaters thing? Like, are they so greedy that they need that 10 minutes, or they're not going to make profit for the day? Yeah, I don't know, but I was a little upset because I knew the exact point to give an intermission is right when they call up Grand, um, and they start the like beasts start moving Grand up to the gate, and they're all chanting. That's the intermission point. That's the halfway point of the movie. That's where the extended DVDs split. Um, and they yeah. So hey, what's up, guys? What's up, T Slayer, Misfit? How you guys doing? Samuel, how you doing? Yeah. So, otherwise amazing. It was reliving my 13-year-old self a little bit. I guess my other complaint about the movie is everybody in the theater was dead silent, which normally you're like, yes, thank you. There was no random coughing person, no one playing on their phone. My son, I think, was the youngest person in the theaters, and he's like, he was into it and everything. Nobody screamed death at the Rohirrim at Theoden's speech. Nobody. Dead silent theater. I was disappointed. Very disappointed. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Awesome. Everything middle. So you can have an intermission. Yeah, thanks, Blue. No, they had an intermission at the last movie I went to see that was really long was Avengers Endgame, and they had an intermission during that movie. Yeah, I remember that. I remember they had an intermission, and that was a measly 3-hour long movie. So yeah, I wanted to see the trilogy. We were not able to get out to see the trilogy. But it was cool to see one of them in theaters. And it was weird seeing the extended in theaters also, because it's the extended versions that they're showing. So, like, most of my memories of these movies are watching the extended. So you have characters, like the Mouth of Sauron, and you have the, like Eowyn going nuts on orcs during Pelennor Fields before she fights the Witch King, and like just all these extra scenes. Saruman actually die, and so like seeing that stuff in theaters was a little weird and like out of place for my nostalgia. Yeah, I saw all of them in theaters. Those were like life-altering films for me. So I got into miniature gaming, guys. Those movies. Yeah. So, anyway, like that was fun and long movie. It didn't feel that long, honestly. Like those movies move pretty quick. The Return of the King moves a lot quicker, but yeah, the Mouth of Sauron is my favorite villain in the whole trilogy. Like they just made that dude so cool, even though he's like such a chump, right? Like he just talks a little bit and he gets beheaded, but you're like dang, why is this guy like the coolest character? Yeah, so I knew it was strange because when Return of the King was coming out, I was already heavily into the strategy battle game, the Games Workshop miniature game. And initially it was called the Fellowship of the Ring strategy battle game. And then the next year they made a new edition called the Two Towers strategy battle game, and they added some more rules, and they had all the units from the films and everything. And then they had the Return of the King strategy battle game. And those rules released about the same time the movie came out. So you had like the complete rule book with all the unit rules, because they didn't have separate books for unit rules and everything. It was just all in the one book. And so you'd look in the rule book. Well, in the rule book, they had a character. They didn't have a mini for it, but they had a character called the Mouth of Sauron. I think. You know what? Hold on. What's up, Rachel? I gotta go. I gotta go look at this. I gotta grab my book. 1 second. 1 second. I could be completely misremembering this, but what was that? There goes my headphone. This was. There's my rule book. It's got Aragorn on the front. It's all cool. All right, we go through here. Does that have my name in it? Yeah, it does have my name in it. Okay, so we have the characters. Look, you got Frodo Baggins holding the ring. There were things in here that were extended edition only. Okay, first one, extended edition only. Let me see if I can get it here. Here we go. Gil-galad. That dude was only, he has a 1 second clip in the extended edition, which is pretty crazy. Okay, let's get to the evil. We got Sauron, Ringwraiths, Balrog, Saruman, Gorbad, Lurtzor, Captain, Grima, Gollum, Grishnak, Shark. Yeah, okay, here we go. So, in this book, they have the Mouth of Sauron. He didn't have a mini. So, if you read the book, you're like, yeah, I know who the Mouth of Sauron is. That's cool. Why does he have rules in this book? He's not in the movie. Well, turns out he's in the extended. We didn't know until the following August that this guy was actually in the he was actually in the film. And so I don't think they had but it's also funny, they have there's Tom Bombadil and the Barrow Wights and Goldberry there, like just from the books, which is pretty crazy that they have that in there. Big scenarios. There's some other artwork in here, some stuff. Yeah, look at this classic Dane Ironfoot mini. Look at that dude. Yeah, crazy stuff. It's a great rule book. They have terrain building tutorials. Man, yeah, I love this book. There was also like screenshots in this book from the film that never show up. Okay, here, I'll give you an example. This screenshot right here of Legolas, this doesn't show up in the theatrical version. This is an extended scene when they're leaving the mountain and they're all like sad that the dead don't join them. Yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. But I love that they use these movie scenes to explain rules, which is great. Yeah, there's some other good ones. This is another one. Okay, last one, and then I'm done. This image right here, I think they use it in all their rule books, in all the first 3 rule books. It's just these orcs marching. It's like a great image of like orcs marching. Like that dude's got some crazy proportions going on. I don't know what's up with him, but this was in the extended Return of the King when Frodo and Sam are in Mordor, and these are the orcs marching by him, and they're like hiding from him. That scene is not in it's not in the theatrical. It's only in the extended. So like this whole scene they have images from this scene in the Fellowship book. So in 2001, they had images in this rule book that never show up in the movies until August of 2004. So like, no one sees that stuff. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy how there's like all these like random things, like these stills that they gave Games Workshop. I'm sure there are things in those books that still haven't shown up, images and stuff. But anyway, so Lord of the Rings was fun. It was a fun watch. You know, I kind of wish I could have seen the whole trilogy, but we had a lot of other fun things we did this weekend, so that was about it. One fun thing we did this weekend is we did a board game night at our house last night, and Zen came over and played a board game with me, the painting son, and I guess my nephew-in-law. I don't know. He married into the family. Super cool though. But we played the Rome Total War board game. We tried it out, and I think it was a success. Zen, after you've slept on it, you tell me if you think it was good and worth playing again. I thought it was pretty good. It definitely doesn't flow as well as other board games. Like, it slows down a lot in certain parts, but it was a lot of fun. It is a giant and ultra complicated game, and it was a lot of fun. The painting son played as Rome. I played as the barbarian tribes. My nephew played as Carthage, and Zen got to play as the Greek city-states. Essentially, you play around the Mediterranean. Yeah, you try to win battles. You get victory points for winning battles and doing well economically, and that's essentially it, right? Winning battles and economics. Excuse me. So it was pretty funny how the game went. First of all, we played 4 hours, also learning this game. So it was a learning game too, but it was a 4-hour game, and we got to I don't know how many rounds we played, but we almost finished like the short game, the short like victory condition, which we probably, well, we definitely would have finished the following turn if we played one more turn. But everybody but the painting son was focusing on like, okay, build your economy and then train your armies, and then you go out and conquer. Painting son's like, I'm not gonna build anything. He's like, I'm just gonna build my armies, and that's all I'm doing, and research, like doing my technology and build armies. You guys know who won the game? It was painting son, who did have some really solid luck, and stupid Roman armies are like way better than everybody else's. Yeah, but he he legitimately won. And it was mainly because, so Rome starts right in the middle of everybody else. So I imagine that Rome tends to be a target as far as like enemies go. Like they end up fighting a lot of people. And with that in mind, Roman armies tend to be better than everybody else's, just from a first game observation and from reading over it. I'm curious to see what other people that have played this game feel about it, but his infantry were just so much better than everybody else's. He had more. I don't even know if they were cheaper, like they were still expensive, but when you're only spending your money on military, you can just buy all the elite infantry, and everybody has a deck of cards for like your troops, and you only have so many of each troop type. So at one point, I had the money to train a ton of elite troops, but I couldn't because I only had like 3 cards of my elite infantry, and so I couldn't have more than 3 spread out over like 4 armies, and each army can have like 10 cards in it. So like, I have to put the low value troops in because that's all I have. But then the Roman armies are just like, yep, my whole army is going to be legionaries, and they're just like super elite infantry, and he just has a whole army of them. So yeah, the last turn we all tried to attack him because he was ahead, and then he would win the battles, and it would give him more victory points because he was winning battles. So then, by the end of it, it was pretty handedly Painting Sun's win. Yeah, it was a fun game. It was a really fun evening. Overall, it was fun hanging out. Get to do some nerdy stuff with a bunch of people. I made tacos. I was pretty proud of the tacos that I made. So, to eat for dinner. Yeah, that was basically my weekend up to this point. It was a lot of fun. I will say that Total War game, Zen and I became allies because my nephew and my son were becoming allies, and we were like, we can't have this. So we became allies. In the end, my nephew backstabbed my son, and then Zen and I remained allies, and we all still lost. I'll tell you about the tacos. So I made pulled pork. So I put pork in the crock pot, which we do quite a bit. So it's just like an easy way to get like good like pork shoulder. So I did that, and then I made guacamole that I was quite proud of the guacamole. I pickled some red onions. We made what else? We made some homemade salsa, and then we just had like all the bunch of stuff to go with it, like little street taco tortillas and lettuce, cheese, sour cream, all that kind of stuff. So it was good. I've been eating tacos all day. I've been eating all the leftovers. It's been pretty nice. Yeah. Sad to report, we were out of salsa and guacamole. So you kind of wither down your options. You're left with like bare bones tacos, but I made like a corn salsa too. I did like corn and jalapenos. That was good. Tortilla press for Christmas? Oh, nice. That's cool. I'm not that fancy. It does sound good. Alright, you guys want to talk about this reveal show on Friday? Stuff won a couple years ago. And a big kick of making my own corn tortillas. I did not know that, Sam. That's pretty wild. Dang. Is it difficult? Is it like time consuming or anything? Or just really good, so it's worth doing? Extremely easy. Wow, okay. Fresh and wheat. Dang, okay. Wow, alright. I would not have guessed that. That's crazy. I need a tortilla press now. Easier than making a loaf of bread. Okay, I believe that. Bread has like a... You gotta deal with like yeast and rising and everything, and yeah. It looks really exaggerated on camera. I don't think it looks like that. It looks so bad. Alright. Tortilla is so much easier to make. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, okay. Hey, Anthony, what's going on? Loving the Thousand Suns mini, the Aramon that you got going. It's good stuff, man. Alright, you guys want some not so hot takes about the reveal show? I mean, I don't... Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been several days, so I'm assuming they're not hot takes anymore, but the GW reveal show on Friday was pretty solid. Like, they showed off a lot of good stuff there. There was even an Age of Sigmar mini they showed where I was like, wow, that's really cool. And I'm not usually like that. Victim of corn biscuit. So, yeah, first thing was what, the new Red Corsairs, right? The campaign book, the Maelstrom campaign book. So the Red Corsairs and the Eldar. Yeah, I think they look cool. I like that they have some actual Renegade Space Marines. I saw somebody point out that some of the Corsair Raider squad have Mark 10 armor pieces on them. But for the most part, they're like Mark 6 or Mark 7 and before. But they like scavenge their armor. So like there's a guy with a Mark 10 backpack. Tortillas and they become flatbreads. Nice. That's okay, yeah. Hispanic pita. I do love pita. So yeah, I think the Corsair stuff looks good. What I'm not a fan of with the Red Corsair stuff at all is all of their bear heads. I think for the most part their bear heads look terrible. Especially the weird smirking faces that GW is so fond of sculpting recently. I don't understand why that's a thing they keep doing. But, you know, they got like all these weird smiles. That's alright. It's alright, Big Papa. I'm just gonna be hungry by the end of stream now. For Dark Elves? No, for the Houston Vampire Survivor. Nice, nice. Who's your character, Misfit? Have you unlocked Sigma yet? That's the I win button for Vampire Survivor. Imelda. Okay. That's the wand lady, right? The extra experience, I think. I don't quite remember. But so I don't like the smirking faces and the weird smiles they give them. And like I think here in Blackheart's head, his bear head is terrible. I would put a helmet on him so fast. Like I understand his lore getting melted in the face, but man, they made his head so bad in my opinion. I do not like it. What else? The upgrade sprue that they're giving Red Corsairs seemed worthless. It's just shoulder pads and like a chainsword and some heads. I don't see it, but it's a Space Marine upgrade sprue, right? That's kind of what they do for Space Marines apparently in their upgrade sprues. So I guess that's kind of whatever. But overall, the command squad's pretty cool. And yeah, I think they'll be fun. I hope they have like a cool way to play And I wonder if being like Renegades gives them options to some Space Marine units, which would be really cool if they could get just like some Loyalist Marine units. I think that would be a fun way to set them apart from just normal chaos. The Eldar stuff looks really good. Yeah, the Executioner guy looks weirdly simple. I don't understand his deal, honestly. Yeah, you have like crazy alien alligator with alien dog creature. You have the surgeon that's like ready to murder the guy in his base with like all these crazy knickknacks. You have yet another female fleet captain that's fighting on the ground for the third time in like 3 months. It's kind of weird. I don't know why that's like a trope that GW's playing up a bunch, but you have like all these interesting minis, and then it's like, yeah, guy with axe, not a power axe, just an axe, but guy with axe and skull helmet. That's like the most basic Warhammer stuff you can come up with. So yeah, that guy's kind of lame. But the Eldar stuff looks good. I like the new infantry, the jump infantry or flying infantry, whatever they are. That's very classic Eldar Corsair stuff. And Iriel looks pretty good. I don't like his weird Yu-Gi-Oh arm thing. That's not my favorite, but otherwise it's a pretty good looking mini. I like the new Viper. I don't love the new Viper. I'm going to talk about Custodes in a minute, Raja, because I imagine you're really happy. I hope you're happy about him, because I'm actually excited about him. But yo, Raptor, what's going on, man? Yeah, the best Eldar mini they showed off was the new Psyker. I love the Bug-Eye helmet. The Bug-Eye helmet is so cool to me. And the lore with those are also really cool. Those Psykers. I don't know if you guys like heard or read the lore to them or about them, but they are they're like divination Psykers, so they see the future, but it's not like the distant future, it's the near future, like the almost present. And they use that skill to navigate the warp. So Corsairs don't always travel in the webway, they'll travel in the warp. Like the big bad dangerous warp is Eldar. And so these are their navigators, these dudes that see just in the future, just in time, to like avoid like demonic entities and stuff. So yeah, I like that mini and I like that lore. That sounds really cool. That's very piratey in my opinion, taking the dangerous route. Yeah, I like that a lot. The Viper is better than the old one. I hate the like turret ring they gave the actual Viper. It just like sits super tall on like a stick, on like a little narrow column, and that to me is kind of lame. And then the other vehicle I don't get. I don't understand the other end of that set where it just faces the rear. The gun does. So it doesn't transport anybody. You just drive by people and then shoot them when you're driving away. It doesn't look like a bomber or anything. Like I don't get that so much. But that one I didn't care for. But the Viper looks pretty good. So yeah, the Eldar are pretty good. So the infantry, the Psyker, 100% the Psyker, but having a legit like Eldar Corsair army is pretty cool. And I like how all of these like Corsair minis, they mix like Dark Eldar and Craft World pieces. So a lot of them have like Dark Eldar heads or like armor plating and stuff, which is really cool. Like their leg armor is like Cablite armor and stuff. It's really cool. My draw, welcome in. How are you doing? So yeah, I thought that was cool. But the Eldar are pretty good. What we got next? Age of Sigmar stuff. I don't care. honestly. The Ossiarch Bone Reaper is one of the least interesting factions in my opinion. As someone who doesn't care for Age of Sigmar, I don't like the Bone Reaper faction, so I didn't like anything they had. Um, an intermission. Are you at a theater watching Lawrence of Arabia and you get an intermission? Because I'm about to go on this rant all over again about intermissions in movie theaters. But welcome in. Welcome in. that'd be ridiculous. So the the Age of Sigmar mini I really liked. Oh, okay. I'm not going to fast forward. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. The one Age of Sigmar mini I really liked was the Tzeentch column, like the floating, like obelisks. Those floating obelisks are so cool looking, and they just like split to like produce more columns. It's pretty crazy. So I really like the look of those, and that'd be fun. Even though those aren't even terrain; they're just like straight up units in Age of Sigmar. But it'd be really cool to make some terrain with those, like Planet of Sorcerer terrain or something. I thought that'd be really neat, but I liked those for the Age of Sigmar thing. Otherwise, we were calling the I think he's called a Fate Master, the character. We were calling him the Stair Master because the dude just had like huge thighs, and he was showing them off. So yeah, there's that guy. Blood Bowl looked pretty okay. Like the high elves seemed pretty cool. For Blood Bowl, I didn't like that they're all wearing like short shorts on a football game. I don't know. Yeah, they're just like, they have a giant gold helmet that's like weighing their whole body down, but then they're wearing like shorts. It just looked a little off, in my opinion. But that's cool. Glad Howls are getting a team. The Custodes stuff. I want to open this. I want to talk about the different Custodes things. Where are they? Seem very samurai. Yeah. The Custodes look amazing. I have never liked the Custodes minis. Which is the best part of that reveal? Straight late 80s sportswear. Okay, sure. I've never liked the Custodes mini. I never liked the old plastic Custodian Guard. The Terminators, I don't like them. I thought they looked weird and bulky, and they looked like toys with like really small shoulder joints, but then like giant arms and legs, and like everything looked way off about them. These minis fix about all my complaints, and they look like they're out of the artwork. They're so good looking. Shiny Mew Paints, what's going on? Welcome in. Are you posting? Where am I looking? Shiny Mew Paints. But yeah, I'm really impressed with the new sculpts. Their cloaks are amazing looking. You gotta post in the Discord. Yeah, this one, if you post it in my Discord and you put it in like the work in progress or the finished projects, I'll jump in and take a look on the Discord. But I also think the head sculpts are really good on these. It's all good though, all good. Yeah, it's cool they give you a bunch of different heads in the box. The head sculpts look great. Whoever painted the faces did a good job. So, which is weird, like that has to be mentioned for GW. But yeah, the girl looks so different. I think they will. Yeah, their heads look really skinny compared to the old ones. The old one, their heads look like short and fat with their helmets on. And these ones they're gonna look a lot different. My first thought ratio when I saw these was, man, I feel bad for anyone who has the old minis. Because I don't like the old minis. I think they look bad. And these look really good. The sword and shield guys look good too. I like their shields. I like the swords, how the magazines are the cross guards for the sword. I think that's really cool. I'm very much a fan of the like statuesque poses, like the dudes that are kind of like look like they're guarding something. Those make sense to me. I think those are really cool. Yeah, yeah, I love it. The tanks look fantastic. They look great. Um, yeah, I'm not sure the differences between these plastic tanks and the resin ones they had before, but these plastic ones look great. So yeah, I'm really impressed. They look awesome. I'm so happy for Custodes players getting their grav tanks and plastic and everything. The dreadnoughts look solid. I'm surprised they didn't do the big Telemon dreadnought, honestly, but the contemptors look good. The sword and shield contemptor is always awesome. Um, they're basically straight from the resin and the plastic. Okay, sweet. Yeah, the dreadnought seems pretty similar to that too, right? Um, yeah, both the dreadnoughts really cool loadouts. I think they look really good. The biggest challenge for people is just breaking up the gold somehow. You know, like they did like the light bronze and the gold, and I think it worked well, but that's gonna be tough. The the captain mini, the shield captain, is baller. I want to paint that mini. I want one of those to paint, if nothing else. I'm gonna get one of these minis to paint. Oh, sorry, Shiny Mew. Oh, that's lame. Yeah, sorry. Twitch sucks. It does. Yeah, huge fan of the shield captain. Just like everything with that mini, solid. The cloak looks incredible. The pose is great. The shield's awesome. The inscriptions on the inside of the shield are really cool. The helmet looks good. Yeah, the mini's not trying to be like too action oriented. It's just like it's being awesome. And then the Venatari, yeah, the Venatari look amazing also. These look way better than the resin minis. So, Raja, I'm happy you have plastic Venatari coming. So, they are legit looking. And you know, only in Warhammer do you get winged jetpack, golden armored soldiers with a big shield and a revolver. Yeah, that's pretty legit. No, those minis look great. And I don't know if they come with helmets. Do they get helmets at all, or are they always bareheaded? But what else? Let's see, another Custodes grav tank, and the big transport, the big Land Raider size transport. I'm not quite sure. They were shown this mini size compared to something else. I wish they would show it. What channel, Shiny Mew? They show it next to a model, but they didn't show it next to like a Land Raider. That would be like a better comparison to see like how big it compares. I would love to see it next to like a Land Raider Proteus or something. But looks like it's too heavy for its base though. And finished, sweet. All right. Let's take a look, Shiny Mew. Oh yeah, nice. I love it. Painting all the figures. Very cool. Very cool. A little Sigmarine at the end there. Nice. Nice work, guys. Check out Shiny Mew Paints. Post and finished projects. They paint a lot of like goblins, right? These are like 3D printed like goblins of like various like D&D classes and other things. Yeah, nice work. Very good stuff. Thank you for sharing. One of the data cards for Grey Knights in 10th edition. Rhino color scheme uses more brown color. I was thinking this about that same coat. You know, I'm not sure, Troy. I'm not quite sure. The rhino's a bit more of a bronze color scheme. Is that what you're saying? So, yeah, the Custodes look amazing. They have a book coming, so they're getting their own Liber. And then what's the set they have? They didn't show? They show the set on this preview page. Yeah, okay. Comes with the tank, the captain, a dreadnought, and then 2 guard squads. Or 12 guard. Dang. And did they give an idea when it's coming? Yep, they said you can use them for 40k, no problem. Not illegal. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Custodes minis they showed, and I kind of hate that because I have always hated Custodes and their minis in game. I've never liked Custodes. And all those minis just look good. So, I was the same way with Mechanicum for Heresy, and I was the same way with Solar Auxilia for Heresy. So, I guess it's just inevitable. Just like the plastic minis. Just a hater. Not anymore. Not anymore. I'm sure I'm going to be playing against a lot of Custodes in Heresy now. But I know how to play against Custodes. I know their weakness, and it's not getting into melee combat with them. So... the silver thing, other types for playing. Oh yeah, I don't know. Just look up alternate color schemes for Grey Knights. I'm sure you'd eventually find something, right? GW doesn't tend to show alternate color schemes on their website for various factions. Would I be starting at 40k? Okay, let me explain something. First of all, I have no plan on buying a bunch of new Custodes. I want the Shield Captain to paint. Okay, so I want that. Second, if I'm putting those Custodes toward anything, if I were to collect an army, it'd be Heresy, not 40k. I could not care less about 40k at the moment, and I really enjoy 30k, so... use like Pinterest and Reddit to find interesting alternate color schemes. Yeah, there you go. Okay, Pinterest and Reddit are good. Yeah, good sources for if you can't find a color scheme. Grey Knights have to have an alternate color scheme, or a couple, because there's no way they would be a GW army if they only had one color scheme. You've been fighting off the urge to pick up a Night Goblin army to paint? Why have you been fighting that? Big Papa, just do it. I think it was 7th edition Warhammer Fantasy had their starter set had like 60 Night Goblins in it, and it had like Fanatics, and it had a crazy night. It had 10 Spider Riders. It was it was like 100 minis in that starter set between a dwarf and a goblin army, and it was like a $60 starter set. It was an insane value, and I had that set. I never did anything with it. I remember a couple years ago I sold it, and I sold the goblin half, then I sold the dwarf half. I sold each half for $60. So I guess I doubled my money on that box set. But I remember I was like, man, it's so cheap to get just to get goblins. Yeah, they had a little dwarf slayer that was like tied up. It's like a whole thing. A lot of like diorama style minis in that set. I had a troll, just one troll though. Not more than one. It was just one stone troll. That's it. Your Grey Knight color scheme would be black? Yeah, it's fine. I think that'd work with Grey Knights. Call them like the Night Watch or something, and you're good to go. Hazard stripes for Grey Knights? Just hazard stripes? Yeah. What chapter helmets do you rarely see for Chaos Space Marines with Space Marine trophies? Imperial Fist. You never see those. We need more Imperial Fist trophy helmets. Hey, Tuvon. Thank you for the sub. Man, 2 years? I appreciate that. Welcome. Hope you're having a great weekend. Metallic purple for Grey Knights? That's cool. That's a cool color scheme. You fell asleep for the covers, the whole conversation about the reveal show. Oh, why? Why, man? Yeah. Long story short, I'm starting Age of Sigmar now. I'm just kidding. I'm not. You're shooting D&D for a different streamer and their admins. Oh, cool. Alright. Very cool. Is there anything else I missed in the reveal show? Oh dang, yeah, there's more heresy stuff. There's the glaive tank, the whirlwind, and the next journal. The heresy whirlwind that they're coming out with looks awesome, and I plan on buying one. That mini looks so cool. The giant box missile launcher. It's looking more and more like a, well, it looks a lot like a is it TOS1? You have a good one too, Vaughn. Thank you, and thank you for the resub. I appreciate that. Looks like the Russian, like thermobaric flamethrower, or whatever they call it. It looks cool. I love the giant box, giant whirlwind box on top. Looks great. The glaive is awesome. It's always awesome. It's just not very good, but it's cool. I like my fell blade. And what does this? Let's see. What's this journal about? Let's see. New Leviathan mission designed to accommodate a vast number of vehicles and asymmetric clashes, with support for chaotic multiplayer battles that pitch everyone's armored squadrons against each other. That's cool. So rules for multiplayer battles and asymmetric battles of the vehicles. That's really cool. In-depth lore about the creation organization of super heavy fleets filled by legions, culminating new exemplary battles let you refight notorious vehicle-heavy engagements like the Siege of Portresh. What else does it say? It doesn't say specifically who gets rules, or if they're getting what's getting rules in there. I'm sure the Whirlwind will get rules because it doesn't have rules yet. But otherwise, maybe there's not new rules coming. It's just a bunch of scenarios and stuff, which I'm cool with. I love these journals. I'm a big fan of the journals that they've come out with. Uriel's doing a bad cosplay Yu-Gi-Oh player with the dual disc. Yeah, that was my first thought. I was like, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh thing. He's got the Yu-Gi-Oh thing. Ironware's getting Obliterator, Mutilator, dual build kit. Maybe that would be cool, John Lockridge. That could very much be the case. I think there's like a Warsmith character that they teased, and I think there's a new Defiler that they also teased. And then yeah, like Mutilator or Obliterator or whatever. I don't think it was Perturabo. No, I don't think so. Maybe a new Hellbrute. Hellbrute is also on the docket. Let's see. Yeah, it's got to be a Hellsmith or a Warsmith with the little shoulder-mounted things, and that's on like a Cataphracti plate. The hammer's probably also his. The power armor might be an upgrade sprue. And then yeah, there's the big back fence that are on a metallic plate. I think that's Defiler. I think that's what that is. With the big claw, I think that's a Defiler claw. Yep. And then the other claw with like 4 big fingers on it, that's a Hellbrute. It's like mutated. I think that's a Hellbrute. And then that's a Hellbrute's foot with the tabard hanging. Yeah. Write this down, alright? My predictions. New Hellbrute, new Defiler, upgrade sprue for Iron Warriors. Maybe they're getting a plastic kit. Some of this looks like it might be their own kit, but at least an upgrade kit. And then a Warsmith character, an HQ character. I don't think he'll be named. I think he'll be like a captain with more of like a vehicle focus. The foot they showed is an Obliterator foot. I guess it's not it wouldn't, yeah. It doesn't have the Dreadnought like toe prong. So you think those are Mutilator claws then? That last one's a Mutilator, not a Hellbrute? Oh, I don't know if you guys caught this, but there's the next Warhammer 40k supplements titled The Eye of Terror. So GW said that themselves on Warcom. So after Maelstrom is The Eye of Terror. Interesting. Yeah. All right, Big Papa, you have a good one. I hope you have the day off tomorrow. You're just getting some good sleep, but if you don't, then good luck at work. Hopefully, traffic's pretty chill tomorrow. Well, let's take a look. Space Marines. Is it Obliterator? That is... What? Hold on. That is nowhere close to a 1-to-1 with the Obliterator. I can see the one, but it has mutant toes instead of mechanical ones. See, now I gotta look up the Helper now. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the Helper has big dreadnought feet, so I get that. All right. Where are the mutilators? Let's go find some mutilators on this page if you can still find them. I don't know. Do they still exist? They don't still exist, do they? Those menus are so bad. Oh, they're so bad. Yeah, Hobart definitely needs a resculpt. Guys, are you guys familiar with the Mutilator minis? Hold on, I'm gonna post. I'm just gonna put it in memes because this photo is a meme. Look at that. That's our most current miniature for Mutilators. just write in Discord. Oh, they're so bad. Who gave those the green light? Those minis, I don't know when those when were these made? These sculpts. I'm really curious. 6th edition? Maybe like 2012 to 2014, something like that. Yeah, 2012 to 2014, somewhere in that range they were made. Yeah, Hellbrutes are tiny. Yeah, I agree, Bannigan. No, Hellbrutes definitely need they need something. Hey, Robot Crash, welcome in. How are you doing? We're just talking about random things about the reveal show on Friday from Games Workshop, and Games Workshop actually made some decent looking Custodes. Guys, okay. Here's what I want you guys to do. Well, you know what? I'm gonna do it for you. All right, I'm gonna do it for you. We're gonna continue on here. I'm gonna take this image. Can I save that image? We're gonna go here. This many. So that's worse than I remember. Okay, let's compare these two. You guys ready? In general chat, I want to compare these two minis and tell you that there is a 1 year difference between these minis being released. Isn't that crazy? Or will GW let you use those new Custodes in 40k before they get... Just play 30k, man. It's more fun. I'm not going to play them in 40k anyway if I get them, so... Yeah, the right Corsairs they have some great looking minis coming. Yeah, Chaos Space Marines again. I'm used to Eldar. Yeah, Chaos Space Marines are always going to be difficult to paint. Yeah, it'd be pretty funny if GW took Custodian Guard squads out of 40k. It made them 30k only. They do. They do. Like those there's no way those two minis are made by the same company. That's crazy. It's crazy. Say only battle line unit they have, yeah. Yeah, I don't necessarily see it. I think Custodes will be like the Knights. Will continue to be like Knights. You know how Knights they're available in both. There are some unique models for 40k and some unique models in 30k, but the basic stuff is available for both games. I think Custodes will be like that too. There are already Custodes minis in 30k and 40k that are unique to those settings, like that wonderful squat dude that might just be a captain. I don't know, but I would keep that dude away from my 30k. Oh, he's just a shield captain. Oh my word. There's no card in 30k. Yeah, the Solar Ox are they're totally different. Yeah, not the same at all. There's Militia that you can use Necromunda minis. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Skitarii, the 30k Skitarii journal is coming out. There's a new unit that they didn't talk about at all in any of the previews coming with the Skitarii. And it's a unit, and they are called Bone Scavengers. They're and they tell you you use Necromunda gangers, Kaldor gangers mixed with tech thralls, and they're scavengers. They scavenge like tech on the battlefield that's been destroyed. That's what they are, and you can get units of them for your 30k army, which is cool. So more Necromunda in 30k. Fine with using Horse Heresy Custodes and 40k represent equivalent units as it should be. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and with everything, it goes until GW says otherwise, right? When GW wants to say, yeah, these grab tanks are good for 30k only, not 40k, you know. Custodes will get something else. Sorry, man, I'm not even painting right now. I'm just chatting. But yeah, I think that set is a good-looking set for Custodes. There's great minis in there. The grav tank looks really cool. Yeah, the Dreadnought, the Shield Captain is so good looking. The new one coming. So yeah, they would raise you, and they very well could. I mean, you just don't know, right? And submit your alternate IP themed conversions for Golden Demon. No, that stinks. Yeah, Grey Knights, no. Star Laser, what you need to hope for is that Grey Knights come out for 30k. Then they'll get some good looking minis. They're not going to do Grey Knights. They'll do a what are they called? The Knight Paladins. Is that what they're called? No, Knight Errant. The Knights Errant in 30k. It's just going to be like refreshed Grey Knights that look really cool. Is the transport as big as a Fellblade? I wasn't sure. I remember they compared it to something. Was it next to a glaive they were comparing it to? Oh man. What I can do. Yeah, I prefer Heresy over 40k. Yeah. Very much so. Yeah, it was a, it's called a glaive, yeah. The Volkite Fellblade. Yeah, I couldn't remember what they had it next to. Mostly Marines, yeah. Well, you know, it seems like GW is rectifying that, right? We have probably I would say in our local community, I'd say about 2/3 of the people that play in our local group collect something other than Space Marines. But I think there's only 1 or 2 people that don't collect any Space Marines. So most people collect the others as like a side project because all those minis look great. So, you know, they're all worth taking a second look. But a lot of people, if they really wanted to, they could field a non-Space Marine army in some capacity. Yeah, demons aren't Heresy. Yeah, demons don't have any kits in Heresy. They're all a make what you want. So, yeah, I don't even think they don't even have recommended kits for the demon kits. Same with the militia. The Imperialis militia are they're essentially Imperial Guard models in Heresy. Also, all of the Necromunda range in Heresy. It's crazy, but or just about anything you want in Heresy, you can fit it into the militia list. But they don't have official models. You can mess with the rules and get like budget Eldar in 30k with militia rules. if you really want. But yeah, demons and militia are like miniature agnostic armies, and their rules are free online, so they're just free PDFs. The militia book is probably one of my favorite army books GW's ever came out with. It's just a free PDF. Likely make new kits to separate specialist games. They might eventually. Yeah, Ghost Hawks maybe eventually, but demons have been a free PDF for years at this point, and I don't think anyone would be mad if they came out with a Liber for like Demons of the Ruin Storm. That'd be awesome. And they came out with plastic demons and everything. That'd be super cool. But as of right now, I don't see that happening for a long time. And as of right now, they're free rules and they're miniature agnostic. So I have 3D printed demons that I use for some of my demons. I don't have many of them, but I have some 3D printed demons that I found that I like to use. And yeah, it's people have guides out there of like, you know, hey, here's some base size recommendations and stuff, you know, and kind of like the equivalent, like here, use one of these 5 minis from GW to kind of make this unit, like demon brutes or lesser demons or demon sovereigns or those kind of units. But yeah, and their rules don't translate to the like 5 flavors of chaos that we're used to either. So, you know, there's not Nurgle, Khorne, Tzeentch, Slaanesh, and Undivided. There's I think 7 different like paths that you can take for your demon army, or like rules you can choose, and it's stuff like encroaching ruin and, you know, things like that. There's some that hint at specific chaos gods, but for the most part it's like it's more of like a rough concept, because I think the idea is at that point in time people didn't have a concept of the 4 chaos gods and the differences in the demons, and they kind of represent that in the rules where everything's a lot more free form and unknown. So yeah, 4K is going to 11th edition, AOS almost halfway through 4th. Heresy is going to have the opportunity for many new kit releases between classic Legion specific units and other factions. Yeah, I think Legion specific kits this year, I think they're coming this year. They're going to start for plastics for Heresy. I also think that the next, like, I think there will be more Libers, more like army books, or at least one more, and I think it's going to be Dark Mechanicum. I think they're going to have plastic Dark Mechanicum units. Yeah, I definitely see that happening. Because those giant knight-sized walkers that they put out for Imperialis cannot stay for just Imperialis. There's no way. I actually think the photos they use in their books are 28mm scale models. What's up, Estrello? How you doing? Guess needs a bit of a rework on how it operates in 40k. What do you mean? Like more ability to coordinate, or just like what? 10th edition to me has seemed very much like the rules writers are operating on a 3-month schedule. Yeah. So it almost seems like okay, these are the problems, let's fix the problems, and then, you know, release these things, and then the next 3 months happen, like, okay, where are the problems? But it doesn't seem like there's a lot of like long-term planning. I mean, there always is long-term plan, it just doesn't seem like it. Custodes. I like how they look like the old art and how lithe they are now. Yeah, I agree, Australia. The new Custodes look really good. Yeah. I put a comparison picture, okay, from the 40k Custodes Shield Captain that was released about this time last year, and then the Shield Captain that's going to be released with the new Heresy kit. If you go to the general chat channel, look at those two pictures. And tell me that the sculptors are in the same company. There's no way these sculptors are in the same company. Now we're trying to use a nap. Yeah, yep. Band of Goblins, that's why you play Heresy. Okay. They give you written rules and they barely ever change them. In fact, that's the advantage of playing games made by the Specialist Design Studio anyway. Is because, their games won't be as, ultra elite competitive MLG pro gamer professional tournament play official, but you don't have to relearn the game every 3 months. Yeah, the older Custodes. Yeah, looks like a big Votan. It's a year ago that mini came out. It's a year ago. It's crazy. Tank robots, tons of cool looking tanks and updated Custodes. Yeah, they do. Yeah, yep. And awesome looking Space Marines too. But yeah, the Specialist Design Studio is the GOAT of GW. I kind of agree. Space Marines, CSM need access to all demons. Yeah, Gods Leech to get all their demons in their books as well. Yeah. Take some demons as part of their force with some limits. God specific legions, no limits on specific demons. Yeah. Yeah. John Lockridge, what I thought would happen was I thought demons would keep their index with a couple detachments of here's just demons. And then I thought every god specific demon would go into their respective god specific codex. So instead of a codex world eaters, would be codex Khorne, and you had world eaters and Khorne demons, boom, all in that codex. And then Tzeentch and Thousand Sons in their codex, as codex Thousand or codex Tzeentch or whatever. I thought they were going to do that. Instead they went halfway with it. They kept it Codex Thousand Sons. They put half the Tzeentch demons in it, and they're here's all the demons you can get, and that's it. 40k gets Big Pants Boy Inquisitor, Leg Boy Stoat Guy, and Squat Short Custodes. Yeah. Oh, poor, what was that Inquisitor's name? That poor guy. He was such a cool mini before. Yeah. That's what AOS did, right? Yeah, they just had a god codex. Just Codex Tzeentch, Codex Slaanesh. Yeah. Or Battletome, or whatever they call it. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Heresy's getting the cool looking Imperial minis. The battle tomes are named after the army, not the god. Oh, okay, yeah, because it's Hedonites of Slaanesh, right? But that includes all of the Slaanesh units. Mention the Go-Kart ATV Nerf Blaster Rocketeers, all the mixed 30-year-olds that haven't been updated yet. Yeah. One of those 30-year-old kids is getting updated. It's the Eldar Viper. Diana is an Imperial agent, should have been Inquisition with 3 Ordos. Yeah. Yeah, I think that would have been a really cool Band of Goblins, and I honestly thought that's what they were going to do. And again, they went halfway with it, right? They couldn't even commit to the idea. Yeah. The Viper looks literally the same. I do think it looks a lot better. I don't like the rear turret on it as much though. Like the side profile looks good, but the actual like the like stand that it's on, it's just like a little thin column of metal that's like what holds it. It's weird looking. They should have done more with that. Yeah, basic Chaos Marine book, getting all the undivided demons, that'd be perfect. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, and maybe 11th edition, that's what they do. You know, like they this was their first chance of like, let's split them apart. You know, make sure people understand that demons are no longer going to be an army on their own. And then as the next codexes come out for 11th, they start putting everything in. Maybe, you know, that sounds hopeful, but maybe they'll just drop the ball again. No, they didn't have any idea. Like I said, I feel like the rules writers for 40k right now are working on like 3-month timelines and just not even like thinking like ahead to like bigger picture of like what goes where, what that means for the future. Dude, you know what's gonna happen, and yeah, the 3-year edition cycle is miserable. Yeah, Codex Space Marines always get messed up. They've been doing this for 20 years. Yeah, that's true. I can see GW. Excuse me, I'm tired. Releasing a scouring style expansion to the Horus Heresy game. And I can see that coming out with Mark 7 Marines as an updated kit, box dreadnoughts as an updated kit, a lot of that kind of stuff coming out. It doesn't need like a lot, but all the like 40k right before Primaris kind of stuff. And then I would love to see GW pull like a World of Warcraft and have like WoW Classic but with 40k, and be like, hey, we're gonna nostalgia rule you guys and do like a 7th edition-esque rule but for 40k to get people back in who don't like how the new game plays. That'd be funny. That's essentially what the old world is, right? Yeah, Star Laser, I agree. They keep putting new factions in. They release new books, but like so many factions have almost nothing. You know? My Dark Eldar get one. They get one updated mini in addition. That's what they get. Or it's 2 updated minis in addition. They didn't even get 2 this time. They got 1. No, they got 2. They got Lady Malice, who came back from a previous edition, and then an updated Archon mini. That was it. Yeah, a lot of armies are in like this cycle of yeah, a lot of armies are in the cycle of, so like I noticed Nurgle is in this, Dark Eldar, Gene Stealer cults are really bad about it. Votan fortunately got a wave, but where they're just getting new character minis, and that's all they're giving them. Like, hey, here's a new character model, here's a new character. So then they're just like, they feel like they're top heavy armies. Like, I want a cool new infantry kit, or like, you know, a cool new vehicle or something, and they're just like, no, here's a character, because we can put that in a blister pack, we can put it on the shelf, and you know, store will order one of them and it'll sell every month or whatever, and we're good. We need to save room for Space Marines and Space Wolves. Emperor's Children have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 unique kits, I believe. Not great. 7 unique kits that make 8 different squads or 8 different units. Yeah, there needs to be generic Praetors for all the legions. You know why it's taking so long, Estrello? Because they're not doing resin for heresy anymore. I don't know if you've noticed that, but last year, so it's embarrassing that Angron's just coming out now. But last February they announced Angron and Latara Seren. Those are resin minis. About a month later, they announced the Warsmith for is it a Warsmith? Is that what he's called for the Iron Warriors? That was a resin mini. That Warsmith was the last resin mini they announced for Heresy. And the word basically went around the saying that that one was going to be the last resin mini for a Heresy. So there's no more. That's why we don't have Mark II shoulder upgrade kits and helmets for legions. Yeah, they're not doing resin anymore, so we're just waiting for plastic kits at this point for legions. I'd roll the Traitor Marine factions back into Chaos Marines. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get it. I get them getting their thing, especially when, they're trying to equal attention them with Space Marines, because, why do Blood Angels need to be their own army? And why do Black Templars need to be their own army? Or why do, Ultramarines are practically their own army at this point, but, there's a lot of codexes that, don't need their own, but have their own. So, you can roll 4 Xenos Codex, any 4 Xenos Codexes together, and you won't have as big a codex as you do for Space Marines. Yeah, the bloat is 70%. It's 90% if you include Chaos Space Marine Star Laser. Yeah. People talk about, okay, all right, full circle here from earlier. People say, I don't want to play 30k because the focus is too much on Marines. Can we think about this for a second with 40k? And its focus on Marines. Because, yeah, we'll get a plastic Fire Raptor one day. That seems like a good first flyer unit. And I would totally buy one because Fire Raptor is really cool. But I feel like Space Marines are such a big focus in all of the games. Even in Age of Sigmar. I mean, it's you have Sigmarines are a huge focus, right? But yeah. Yeah, there's more than how many? Hold on. Let's do some counting. I'm counting, guys. That's what we're doing. Let's 40k. All right, space. Oh my god, there's more than no. Okay, Space Marines. Space Wolves, Grey Knights, Death Watch, Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Black Templar, and Ultramarines have a codex. That's 7. Chaos. We have Chaos Space Marines, Death Guard, Emperor's Children, Thousand Sons, World Leaders. That's 12 codexes of Space Marines. In total, other than Space Marines, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 codexes. Okay, so about 40-45% of the codexes are Space Marine related. Space Marine or Chaos Space Marine in 40k. But they probably get, 80-90% of the attention, right? You have certain carve outs for them, so you have different units and squad compositions than other Marines. Yeah, Dark Angels don't need it. Dark Angels and Blood Angels. Blood Angels and Dark Angels are both Codex compliant, so they don't need it. It's different. Like Space Wolves, Black Templars, I can see more of an argument for, but my personal thought for 40k is there should be more Imperial Guard regiments, and they should have their own codexes. I think there'd be more variety in how Imperial Guard regiments fight than how some Space Marines fight. Like Dark Angels were Space Marines with more plasma guns, and then you have Imperial Guard that are they're significantly different. Like dudes that are just all on horses, or guys that are all mechanized, or the crazy Catachan jungle fighters. Yeah, Morty and Iron Guard, that'd be cool. Yeah, Vostroyans, yeah. Some good stuff there. Yeah. To me, it's it gets super boring. See Imperial Guard, and it's like, yeah, here's my squad of my 3 squads of Cadian shock troops, and here's my 3 squads of Krieg, infantry, and I have my 2 Catachan squad. Like, I don't know. Early Heresy books would be released. Mega Arachnids, native creatures. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I don't see that happening, unfortunately. Not for the next 5 years. If 5 years from now they want to start putting weird Xenos into like a 40k classic kind of game, that would be cool. Like, hey, we need some unique armies to put in the game, and we can use the Heresy minis, and then in that rule set, and then we want some Xenos, so you can't reuse them. I could see stuff like Mega Arachnids and everything, but yeah, a Great Crusade game would be great. Yeah, I think Blood Angels are considered Codex compliant, though. They were, as far as long as I have known Blood Angels, they've always been considered Codex compliant. There's a couple. There's the weird time ones that make you age super fast. The Iron Warriors were fighting the that wasn't the Hrud, was it? Was it the Hrud? Those Hrud used to be the name for Space Skaven, but then they changed it. And there was the the Hrud were cool, and then there was the Interex might be the one that was in the was that Horus Rising with the Interex, but they were chaos worshipping. They had cool energy bows and stuff. Don't no Misfit, no. Yeah, the Interex are really cool. They had energy bows, which is cool. It's like the Night Sisters from Star Wars. They're super advanced and everything, but yeah, they worshipped chaos. They were the reason Horus got stabbed or whatever by the big demon. Yeah, there definitely is a lot of cool stuff they could do. No, Death Company's just a secret, dude. Ultramarines are Codex compliant. They had Tyrannic War veterans, so I think the idea is not every chapter is 100% Codex compliant. There are some that are more rigid than others, but at the end of the day, everybody deviates a little bit. Because Codex compliance is stay within your 1,000, which I don't think exists anymore, right? They're allowed to go over that or something now, but it was stay in your 1,000, have your 10 companies, that kind of thing. the old way to play Blood Angels, what they did was before your battle started, you'd roll dice for every squad, and on certain rolls, certain things happen. So either your squad was subject to the Red Thirst, and they'd basically have like a boost, but they had to charge units, or members, like a couple members from the squad would join the Death Company, and so your Death Company would be completely random in its number before the battle. You had to make sure you had extra minis painted for your Death Company. Monster Den minis, what's going on? 41 people coming in. Blades 81, welcome guys. I'm the Painting Dad. We're just chatting about random 40k and 30k things. And I am actually kind of wrapping up stream right now, but I was working on this little vampire guy here. Where is he? There he is. I was working on this mini. Done finishing my Flawless Blades. They look beautiful. Oh, nice, Gloomy Otters. On YouTube. I painted some. Did I paint? No, I didn't paint Flawless Blades. I painted some other Inverse Children, but yeah, the Flawless Blades are really cool looking. Very good stuff. How was stream, Monster Den? Yeah, we're chilling. Let's talk about. I actually like the new Custodes. I don't typically like Custodes, so I think the new minis look great. Yeah, Heresy gets all the good-looking minis. I put a comparison in my Discord between the Shield Captain that released for 40k last year, and then the Shield Captain that's going to be released for 30k this year, and the difference is pretty hilarious. Your Council of Mini Painters. Mike Disney was our guest. I'm not familiar who that is, but that's really cool. It's like a round table with mini painters and stuff. That's really cool. My roundtable podcast like discussion. That's really cool. Well, nice. Well, yeah. Sounds like it went really well. That's awesome. Great to hear. Yeah, well, unfortunately, I'm not sticking around much longer because I went to wake up with the kid tomorrow early, nice and early, but every third Sunday at 6 p.m. Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Shout out to Monster Den Minis, guys. And did we give a shout out? Did we get a shout out here? We did. Let me see if I can do this. This work. Let's see. Yes. All right, guys, go follow Monster Den Minis. Am I following you? I think I'm following you. Yeah. Oh no. Okay. Add. Do we find someone to raid now? Let's find someone to raid. I think I am going to. I'm gonna jump off. Yeah, because I am tired. Thank you so much for the raid, guys. I'll send you somewhere nice. You guys want to go say hi to Spark Minis? We'll go say hi to Spark Minis. How about that? Chilling. I think she's painting a Golden Demon entry, so that's pretty cool. Over there. Alright, let's do that. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming to hang out this evening. It's been great chatting with everybody and painting minis and stuff. I should be on Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, and I'll be painting more stuff. I got some more stuff to paint, and we'll just be hanging out and having a good time, hopefully talking some good news and everything, as we like to do. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful evening and a great Monday, and bye everybody.